What? Just when I thought we knew all there was to know, Capcom was like, yeah, nah, here's another trailer. And I woke up this morning to my Twitter feed just exploding with new information. I didn't even know there was a Nintendo Direct happening, let alone another Monster Hunter trailer coming before Sunbreak's launch. I thought we were done, fully prepped for release. But no, Capcom just had to go ahead and give us even more to be excited about. How dare they? This wasn't quite the shell-shocking experience of the previous trailer, but there's a lot to unpack here, so let's get stuck in, shall we? I am Peak Ginge, and this is the final Monster Hunter Sunbreak trailer. I assume. There's... The trailer kicks off with this cool side-scrolling map that slowly reveals each of the monsters we've seen so far in the lead up to Sunbreak, and I personally love the visuals on this. It's a hand-drawn style that just appeals to me, though I can't quite put my finger on why. The voiceover for this clip says, "When mankind is consumed by darkness and the land falls into chaos, the Archdemon of the Abyss shall rise from the earth. They come rushing here in a desperate attempt to survive. Both beast and man have more in common than they think." Ooh, ominous, I know. Now, I'm pretty sure the Archdemon being referred to isn't anything we've explicitly seen thus far, but we do get a brief little glimpse later in the trailer, so we'll touch on that in a minute. The panning across freezes, and we get yet another big reveal. A new one, sure, but not an unexpected one. A cutscene rolls, and we get the pleasure of seeing the adult form of Gore Magala, Shigaru Magala, just absolutely bodying a Ceregios and a Barioth. A quick sizzle reel of gameplay shows what appears to be Shigaru getting a significant glow up, with a mixture of iconic and brand new moves, especially this laser beam attack. The reveal of Shigaru is cool, but not a shock by any means, given we already saw Gore. I still think Shigaru back in Monster Hunter 4 was the best final boss Monster Hunter has ever had, but given the choice of Gore and Shigaru, I still like Gore more as a monster. A hard cut takes us to the Frost Islands as a golden bolt of lightning strikes, and we get the first of several variants that will be shown in this trailer. Furious Rajang. Now, I personally hope that this is a return to form for Rajang, because let's be honest, the one in base Rise was kind of a joke and a bit of a fall from grace. But forget that, we haven't got time for the monkey because it's time for Magnamalo's true form. Scorned Magnamalo. With enlarged arm blades, a shattered crest, and only one eye, Magnamalo has been amped up and looks far more formidable than it used to. There's a 20-second clip of gameplay that also came out for it, and it seems like he really has mastered that Hellfire now, and the fight is going to be completely changed. I am always for variants. I think they do a nice job to contrast and build on the strengths of a monster's base form, whilst also still maintaining its identity, so just fuck me up with variants, Capcom, just keep them coming. We then get a few story beats here and there, and an ominous voiceover, along with short clips of each monster revealed previously for the Sunbreak roster, each of which only lasts for a second or two and is not new footage, I don't think. All of them except for this little part right here. This Tetranodon looks like he's having a bad time. It doesn't seem to be a subspecies or anything, just a normal-ass Tetranodon that has some form of corruption or affliction. It doesn't look like the Frenzy because it's red, so my bet is either hyperstates are returning or Malzeno's blood plague thing can impact monsters as well as hunters, but I couldn't find anything confirming that on the website. Hey, Editing Ginge here. As I was about to render this video, there was a tweet that came out from the Monster Hunter Twitter that reads, "In Sunbreak, as you progress in the story, you'll encounter new threats called the Afflicted. What could have happened for these monsters to become this way? That's up to you to uncovering the game." So this appears to be a brand new thing, but I imagine it'll just act like Tempered and Hyper Monsters and all that sort of stuff. Okay, cool. Back to the video. I do also reckon that whatever this is what the roadmap was referring to as powered up monsters. And then after that, we get this little nugget of anticipation. A giant clawed hand with what feels like a lot of weight behind it teases something big and something scary. I reckon whatever this is the Archdemon that the voiceover at the start is referring to. Now looking at this, it's tricky to figure out what it may be. There's probably plenty of theories online, but to me it seems more like a hand than the forelimbs of quadrupedal monsters like Zenoga and Magnamalo, being much more in line with things like Azeroth, Gosarag, and the other fanged beasts. If I had to put my money on it, I'd guess it's probably going to be our final boss for Sunbreak, where the story will set up Malzeno to be the boss, but right at the end, it gets switched to whatever this thing is. The tease is pretty in line with previous Monster Hunter final bosses after all, though it would have been cool going in completely blind. A fanged beast style final boss would also be something completely new, and I'm definitely here for it. Also, if it's just a weirdly cryptic Gosarag variant, I'm also down for that because I love that big fluffy boy. The tone then hard shifts to this like reminiscent reminiscent song with clips from Base Rise playing with this sepia kind of filter over the top of it, before giving us our final sizzle reel before release, showing us non-stop action of all the new monsters coming our way, the new moves for each weapon, and the new follower quest system. One little detail I noticed is that in the sizzle reel we get to see normal Magdamalo, which to me suggests that it will be in Master Rank. It's interesting because it could mean that we will be getting the normal forms along with the variants in Master Rank, which wasn't always the case in Iceborne. In Iceborne, several of the monsters that received variants, specifically Valhazak, Nergigante, Basil, and Devil Joe, were just straight out replaced by their variants in Master Rank, with the base forms only being in low rank and high rank. We get a clip of the new general firing his Dragonator, which is a nice callback to the commander in World doing the same thing. And you'll notice that they're doing this on a ship in the middle of an ocean. Did somebody say the return of Dire Morales and or Cedius? Jokes aside, I think there's a possibility of some form of colossal monster fight on the horizon. Here's hoping it isn't as boring as Zora Magdaros. We get reminded of the three Lords of Elgato one last time before the logo blazes across the screen, but in classic Monster Hunter fashion, we aren't quite finished yet. Where the previous trailer showed us a glimpse of Lucent Nagakuga, this one shows us a monster that will be returning alongside it, Seething Basil. It's an interesting thing to announce because previously all other iterations of this monster have just been shadow dropped, but not this time apparently. This also all but confirms that these special species monsters that are mentioned in the roadmap are going to be just variants, as that's what Seething Basil is. Translation errors for the win. Now apparently there's going to be several other monsters alongside these two, so the content train for Sunbreak seems like it's going to be pretty long lasting. We get to see that same roadmap as before with the same details, and I'm excited to see what new and old variants will be making an appearance in the future. With all of that out of the way, the trailer comes to a close with the standard marketing stuff, so let's talk overall thoughts. So the reveals, we got Shigaru, Furious Rajang, Scorn Magdamalo, Big Angry Hand Monster, and Seething Basil. Shigaru is a cool addition and I look forward to it. It's nice to see that it's also getting some brand new attacks, which should help it feel less like Golden Gormagala and more like its own thing. Furious Rajang has the potential to bring Rajang back from the brink if handled correctly, and if they largely use the one from Iceborne, I think it'll be a nice solid challenge. Scorn Magdamalo seems to be exactly what he needed to really kick our ass, and I really hope he's a proper Elder Dragon level threat. High rank Magdamalo was good, but that village Magdamalo before the credits roll was pretty anticlimactic and left a bad taste in my mouth personally. The Big Angry Hand is anyone's guess, but if it's a Fang Beast style monster on the level of an Elder Dragon, then I am so here for it. And then there's Seething Basil, and if they do it dirty like they did normal Basil, I'll be disappointed. I hope it gets some new tech from what it had in Iceborne and brings back the Invader name from the grave. Same goes for Furious Rajang. I'm excited to see what's going on with that Tetranodon, and I hope we get something akin to Hyper or Tempered or Apex or whatever it may be to give Sunbreak as much longevity as possible. There's sure to be plenty of surprises in store, like for example, what are they shooting that Dragonator at in the middle of the ocean? And in less than 24 hours, we will have our answers. Or at least be beginning our journey. Before I go, I will say that it feels like they might have shown a little bit too much, which unfortunately is just how it goes these days. Like, leave a bit to the imagination, Capcom. We don't need to be spoon-fed every single detail of the game before we play the game. I guess every monster is a marketing point because every monster is someone's favorite and might be what tips them over the edge from not buying it to buying it. So I see where they're coming from, it just kind of sucks. So that will just about do it for this one. Not a super long video, but Capcom certainly caught me off guard this time. Sunbreak is about to drop and I can't wait to get stuck in. There will be plenty of Sunbreak content here on the channel, as well as general Monster Hunter stuff moving forward. I've got a few things in mind that I think you will all enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos are out and when I'm live here on the channel, because I intend to get some Sunbreak streams in after release. We'll see how we go. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed the release of Sunbreak. Catch you on the next one, folks. See you later.